Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as all of you guys are fully aware, right, or some of you, I don't know, I have Kobe Bryant in my top 3 NBA players of all time. I have Kobe behind Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I think that Kobe Bryant was better than every other basketball player in that top 10 minus those two guys, right? Some people are going to disagree. Oh, you think he's better than him? You think he's better? But the reality is this. Whenever you put out a list, somebody's going to disagree with you. Somebody's always going to say this guy's better than this guy. So that's par for course. This is just my opinion, and I'm willing to back it up. But I think Kobe was better than Shaq. I think he was better than LeBron James for sure. I think it was better than Tim Duncan. I think it was better than Magic Johnson. I think it was better than Larry Bird. I think it was better than all of these guys. And at the same breath, I've also said that Kobe Bryant is arguably one of the most disrespected top 10 players of all time. And that disrespect primarily comes or came from, or comes whatever, emanates from media personalities who shape public opinion. Because usually what happens is whenever people want to knock Kobe, they usually bring up they regurgitate arguments that I've heard before that has come out of the mouth of various media personalities, right? And I remember the very first time, to give you an example, when I heard Nick Wright say that at no point in time was Kobe Bryant ever the best basketball player in the NBA. That was when I knew, okay, I need to take what Nick Wright says about basketball with a grain of salt, because he was the first person ever that I ever heard say something like that, when all of us know, or all of us that know who know, that for about a 10-year stretch, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the NBA. And this morning, while I was doing some research, I actually stumbled upon an audio of one of the greatest players of all time, one of the top 10 players of all time, who played at basically the same position as Kobe Bryant played in, basically explain how Kobe Bryant was the standard bearer in the NBA, and how everyone was basically trying to get on Kobe Bryant's level. But before I go any further, this video is brought to you by Aura, who is the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So before we go any further, take a listen to what he had to say here. I'm not going to reveal who he is, and then we're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
I think for me, man, when I got into the league, obviously Michael Jordan is my favorite player of all time. But for me, when I got into the league, Kobe Bryant was the bar. You know, he was the greatest player in the game to me before I got in the league, but definitely when I got there. I mean, he was someone, I think he was 24 years old at the time when I got in. He had 3 NBA championships already. You know what I mean? And when you want to talk about the swagger, oof. I mean, Kobe had it. But as a competitor, I knew that Kobe was the one for me that I had. If I wanted to be great, that I had to get on the level of Kobe Bryant. However I did that, I knew I had to get on his level or be respected by him in some way where he looked at me as equal. So it pushed me, and he pushed me. And we didn't talk a lot early on, but I feel like when we got to around 08 in the Olympics is when we got close, you know. And it all started from training. Like, I think once you get around guys and you really see who they are and what they're built of, because you're around them for, 2-3 months. And Kobe saw that my grind was very similar to his grind. and that me and him did a lot of things where it was just me and him, and it wasn't no one else around, you know. And so he started respecting me in a way that I already had respect for him in. And then he just became like a big brother, you know, during Olympics. You know, his knowledge of the game, even though I was a great player, Kobe had knowledge of the game that I didn't have. And so he became a person that I would go to and just, hey, what should I do on this play? Hey, you know, how should I do this? And he kind of like, you know, he came to me and said, listen, when he heard that I wasn't starting, and he knew that, I'm sure he knew that, man, you know, I know this is tough for D-Wade not to be starting on this team. But he came to me right away and he eased my mind. He was like, listen, when you get in a game and it's me and you on the floor, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up 94 feet. I'm going to turn these guys. And once I turn them, you do what you do. You come in, you know. And so I got so many steals and so many dunks and so much because of the unselfishness of a star in our league to tell me, hey, I'm going to do these things. And all you got to do is, you know. So we just built a relationship. And that relationship went from respect as competitors to now where I felt like he was a friend, and it eventually grew into just a brotherhood. And our relationship was something that I'm sure so many people have their own relationships with him. But my relationship with him, for me, was special because this is a person who, you know, it was Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Kobe Bryant. These are my favorite players to ever play the game of basketball. And I had a real relationship with one of those three for sure. And you know, he would reach out to me, hey man, how do you slice those pick and rolls like that? And I'm like, oh my God, Kobe reaching out to me. Like it was incredible to be able to have that relationship with him. And obviously when I retired, you know, and I, you know, you just imagine like, okay, we're going to be those two old guys that, you know, that go to games and when the Heat play to LA and we're going to be on opposite sides. And, you know, it's just going to be that kind of thing. You see it coming. And not to have that, you know, not to be retired and have somebody that I can chase after still, because he was doing amazing things after the game of basketball. You know, you feel a little lost. And I said that when Kobe retired, I said, you know what, when Kobe retired from basketball, I didn't have no one to chase anymore. I kind of lost a little bit of something in me when Kobe retired, because it was like, well, who am I chasing now? You know what I mean? Who is that big matchup for me? Because yes, it's the younger guys coming up and you want to make sure, but I felt like Kobe was the only one that was on the level that I was on as one of the top two guards. And even though I felt he was on a higher level than me, but I still was able to chase him. And I didn't have anybody to chase no more. So it was kind of like, okay.
So you heard it from the man himself, Dwyane Wade. If you don't know who Dwyane Wade is, man, and you call yourself a basketball fan, I don't know where the heck you've been over the last 2 decades, right? Because D-Wade has been the man. Now, let me tell you what Kobe Bryant detractors, after hearing that, what they'll try to do. What they'll try to do is what they always do, which is they'll try to discredit the source. When they disagree with the guy or disagree with what he says, they try to discredit the source. They talk about who is he? Who is he to say that? Well, let me tell you who Dwyane Wade was in one sentence. Dwyane Wade was the guy that led a prime LeBron James in scoring in the NBA playoffs the first year they got together with the Miami Heat. That's who Dwyane Wade was. That alone should tell you a lot about the player that Dwyane Wade, that was a 26-year-old or 27-year-old, however old LeBron was. That is who Dwyane Wade was. And I have always understood, like most, that Kobe Bryant was the closest thing to Michael Jordan. All of us have understood this, and he was definitely this generation's Michael Jordan. So if he was this generation's Michael Jordan, how in the hell can somebody be better than Kobe Bryant? Unless you believe that there's another player that has played basketball in the last 2 decades that is better than Michael Jordan. And if you believe that, I got a bridge I got to sell to you, man, because I don't think there is a single argument that exists in the universe that you could bring up to say that, you know what, there's another basketball player that has played basketball in the last 20 years that is better than Michael Jordan. And I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, but I don't think Kobe Bryant is better than Michael Jordan. So just imagine, if you're not bringing Kobe, who are you bringing? So to me, obviously, Kobe Bryant was the closest thing to Michael Jordan, and he was definitely the best player in the NBA when he was in his prime. And everyone knew this. That includes LeBron. Not no 15-year-old LeBron. LeBron was 20. 21. No, he was like 25, 26. Calling like Kobe Bryant's the best player that we have in our league right now. But I'm close. LeBron knew that. D-Wade knew that. Pat Riley knew that. Gilbert Arenas knew that. Everybody knew that Kobe Bryant was the best player in the world at the time, and he was definitely the standard. And I think it's absolutely beautiful to have a player of D-Wade's stature basically shed some light on what it was like to be around the greatest player in the world at the time in Kobe Bryant, because he was absolutely right. So my question is, what do you think about what D-Wade had to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure that you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And we definitely catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.